As you know that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of living organism. So now we have to start that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Now here you can see that it is the cell of one animal. Okay, and you can see, and as you know that animal is one advanced organism comparable to rest all type of organisms. And in our nature we can see that there are various ranges of sizes of organisms present in our nature. In our nature we can see there are very minute organisms are present, like mycoplasma, which measures nearly about 0. Which measures nearly about 0.3 micron. Okay, and at the same time we can see that in our nature some large animals are also present, which measures nearly about several tons in their weight, like your elephant. So one common thing is present in between two types of animals is that these all animals and plants, or whatever the living organisms are present, they all are made up of their structural units, which is called as cell. And the cell also helps in performance of various metabolic activities in the body, and also it helps in for the development of the organism, growth and development of the organisms. Hence cell is called as the structural and functional unit of living organism. Got it? Raise your thumbs, those who are getting me. Raise your thumbs. And this one is the beautiful amazing structure of your cell. Are you all listening to me? Hello? Okay, fine. Now come towards the next slide. Today we are going to discuss about such sections. Okay, this is the gland. Okay, so now you have to proceed to the next slide. That is, here you can see that what is it you can say. Under it has written that it is the Hooke's microbe. Who is Hooke? Robert Hooke. Okay, in 17th century, or in the initial stage of 18th century, Robert Hooke has took several experiments, and by during the course of his experiment he used such microscope, which is very simple in nature. By using this microscope he has observed thin slices of cork, and he has seen that these thin slices of cork are composed of number of small chambers inside it, which are like the beehives composed of small chambers inside it. So in Latin words, so small chambers are called as cellula. Cellula. What is that? Cellula. Cellula means small chambers. Okay. Cellula means small chambers. Okay. So, and from cellula the word cell comes from. Okay. Now look at the cell structure of cork by Hooke. Robert Hooke has seen this type of cell under microscope. Here you can see that there are small, look at here where I am marking, these are small chambers inside the thin slice of cork, and these, you can see here that these are the small very small quadrilateral chambers are there. Okay, like the chambers present in beehive. So such type of structure Robert Hooke has seen under the microscope by taking thin slice of cork. Then next, after during the course of development, improved microscope has entered in the field of science, and various groups of scientists came, and they have observed such mysterious structural component, that is the cell, under the improved microscope, and they have observed that the cell is composed of some liquid metabolism, in some liquid content inside it which is called as the protoplasm, the living content of the cell. And initially, look at here, you can see this is the compound microscope. By using such microscope, the science has developed or discovered the cell into its ultrastructure. Okay, you can see Antony von Leeuwenhoek. Look at here, he is Antony von Leeuwenhoek. You can take the snapshot. Okay, you can take the snapshot for the note. Antony von Leeuwenhoek has discovered the living cells in the pond water. By taking the pond water, Antony von Leeuwenhoek has discovered some moving creatures, very teeny moving creatures are present inside it. Yes, and he called them as the first living cells in the by taking the pond water. Okay, then we have to come to the next slide. Now look at here. Then Robert Brown has discovered the Sails nucleus inside the cell, and generally the Sails nucleus is present at here, and you can see these blue color structures. Look at here, these green color structure. Are you seeing? These green color structures are, look at here, these green color part are the cytoplasmic content of the cell, and this one is the cell membrane's boundary. Okay, and this part is the nucleus. Slide, you can see that Matthias Jakob Schleiden, yes Rahman, Matthias Jakob Schleiden did what? Now he observed that the parts of a plant, are composed of several tissues. You can see here that this part of the plant is generally the took the various parts of plants, and he has seen what? He has seen that, all of you mute your audio section. All of you mute your audio session so that it will be listen to all of you properly. Listen. Yes, Aswat, say. Right here, this part from the leaf, and this part from the fruit part, and this part from the growing tip of the plant. And he has discovered that all the various parts of plant, they are composed of that similar structural components, okay, which are called as the plant cell, because they are only available in the plants. Okay. Generally, we can say that he has put forward the concept of tissue, because look at here, these parts are composed of group of different cells which are aggregated together to perform the particular activities. Like here you can see that the green part is responsible for photosynthesis, and here this part is responsible for the storage of food, and this part is responsible for the growing part of plant. Okay, now come to the next slide. That look at here, the another person of cell theory concept is that Theodor Schwann. Okay, and Theodor Schwann has proposed another theory that all the animals and plants, they have a membrane around them. Okay, and this is in case of animal and plant cell, that thin membrane is called as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Okay, then after, in case of plants only, plants have one additional covering around the cell membrane, that is called as cell wall. Okay, that is called as the cell wall, and this concept has put forward by Theodor Schwann, and these both thought proposed by Matthias Jakob Schleiden in 1838 and Theodor Schwann in 1839 proposed the cell theory. You can see that they both have proposed, Matthias Jakob Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, they both have proposed the cell theory, and according to them, Plants and animals are made up of cells and products of cells. Now you have the doubt that what is the products of cell? Generally, the cell products are the proteins, lipids, fats, energies, chemicals like your hormones, enzymes, such things. Okay. All of you mute your audio section. Now listen. Now look at here. Then listen. Initially in 1838, Matthias Jacob Sladen came, and another in after 1 year, Theodor Schwann came to put forward the cell theory. After some year, nearly about 1855, this person came, Rudolf Virchow came, and he said that all the living cells originates from the pre-existing living cells. All living cells are originates from the pre-existing living cells, that you can see here. This cell is the mother cell, and from the mother cell, during the course of cell division, the cell divides into two daughter cells, okay, for the formation of new cells, and this process occurs in the living cells. Okay, very good. Now look at here. According to him, the modern cell theory states that you can take the snapshot that living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells, and all the cells arises from the pre-existing cells. That means their mother cells. Okay, that's all about your cell theory. Got it? Now listen, you can take this now for your note purpose. Okay, take the snapshot for your note purpose. The discover the cell, plant cell, that was unfortunately not living. Okay, and in 1674, Hooke discovered the free living cell in the pond water. Then after, Robert Brown came in 1831 and discovered the nucleus. Then after, Perkins coined the term protoplasm for the fluid substance of the cell in 1839. Got it? Now look at here, the revised version of cell theory. Okay, and that revised version was proposed by whom? Proposed by Rudolf Virchow. Whom? Rudolf Virchow finally modified these all theories. Okay, now come towards the next point of our discussion, that is type of organism. And generally there are two types of organism. One is unicellular organism and another one is multicellular organism. And as you know that the unicellular organisms are made up of only single cells. That initially I have said, the very smallest microorganism is your mycoplasma, and its size is 0.3 micron. Micron means what? Micron means 1/1,000,000 of 1 meter. Okay, how small is it? 0.3 micron. Okay, and in your, it is the question for you that you have to show me 0.3 micron is how much meter. Okay, you have to show me. Next, then okay, under the multicellular organism, what happens? The multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cells. Multi means many, so they are made up of more than one cells, and they are belongs to various broad groups of organism, and they have large size, and they have number of tissues, number of organs, and different organ systems are composed to make their whole body. Okay, and you can see here that in case of multicellular organism, their shape and size of cell are different according to the kind of function they perform. Like in case of our nervous tissue has the branch shape. Okay, and it is elongated in nature according to its function, because it transports the signal from one place, from one part of your body to another part. and in case of your skeletal tissue it is hard in nature, okay, and it provides you strength and support. Then there is the division of labor. Listen, this sentence is very very important. What is division of labor? In case of multicellular organism, listen, in case of multicellular organism, do not write anything, do not write anything in the whiteboard. Listen, whatever I am slide sharing, listen, what is the division of labor? Listen, in case of multicellular organism, multicellular organisms are made up of number of organ systems like digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, reproductive system, nervous system. In for instance, if you can take that, in case of digestive system, there are separate organs which are completely separate from the nervous system. Okay, in case of a nervous system, the nervous tissues which are comprised of nervous cells or neurons, nervous cells are called as neurons, remember. So in case of neuron, it only performs the activities of transportation of signal from your body, that means transmission of message from your body. But in case of digestive system, the cells which are associated in the digestive system, they only involves in the process of digestion. Okay, so here you can see the number of cells are present separately to perform various activities in separate group wise manner. That means the whole organism performs various activities by sharing its labor among cells. So here you can see that there is the division, means sharing of labor among cells. But in case of unicellular organism, you can see that in case of unicellular organism, they have only single cell. So all the functions are occurs inside that one cell. Okay. And in case of multicellular organism also, you can see there are various kinds of organelles are also present, because they are advanced in nature to perform different type of function, like mitochondria are present for respiration, chloroplast are present for photosynthesis. Okay, now come to another. Listen, here in this slide you have to remember that there are another two. You can categorize the organism into two groups on the basis of their origin. That means from which origin they have, from by consisting of their by their constitution of nucleus. Okay, how their nucleus is made up of. These are not cells, these are the organisms. Okay, generally the prokaryotes are made up of prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotes are made up of what? Prokaryotic cells. Okay, and in case of eukaryotes, they are made up of eukaryotic cells. Very good. Eukaryotic cells. Okay, now listen, there are various point of difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. You can see this. Okay, take the snapshot for your note purpose. Take the snapshot for your note purpose. I am clearing it. You can take the snapshot for prokaryotes, and also you can take the screenshot for the eukaryotes. Okay, now look at it. Now let us discuss all these points. The cell, pro means primitive, and karyote comes the word karyon, that means nucleus. So the organisms which have primitive types of nucleus, they are called as prokaryotic nucleus. In case of, sorry, they are called as prokaryotes. And the organisms which have the cells inside it, what happens? The nuclear membrane encloses the nucleic content. Okay, now see, if you consider that this is the cell, in case of cell, this is the cell, and here it is your nucleus. Normally in case of one eukaryotic cell, and here you can see that this part is the cytoplasmic content, and that cytoplasmic content again remains inside the nucleus, which is called as the nucleoplasm. Okay, this part is called as, this blue color part is called as the nucleoplasm, which is separated by this red color covering. This is called as nuclear envelope, and that another fluid part is present inside the cell. This yellow color part you can see, this is the cytoplasm, okay, which is surrounded by your outer cell membrane. So you can say that the cytoplasm is surrounded by outer cell membrane and inner nuclear membrane, and the nucleoplasm, here this one, is only surrounded by your nuclear envelope. Okay, in case of prokaryotes, they do not have any what nuclear membrane, so their cytoplasm, okay, this cytoplasmic content and their nucleic acid content remains inside it like this. There is no particular membrane in between these two, okay, and this structure is called as nucleoid. This structure is called as what? Nucleoid. Got it? Okay, take the snapshot for it. Now listen, and that, so, and as you know that nucleolus is present inside the nucleus, though they don't have, in case of prokaryotes, they don't have any nucleus, so they do not bear any nucleolus. Look at that, the second point. But in case of eukaryotes, the nucleolus is, chromosome is present, okay, and in later on I will show you the diagram of one prokaryote. And in eukaryote, single or multi chromosomes are present. As you know that in case of human being there are 24 pairs of chromosomes are present. Yes or no? 24 or 23? 23. Okay. So listen. Now, in case of prokaryotes, reproduction is always asexual, but in case of eukaryotes, reproduction is sexual as well as asexual. Asexual means generally binary fission, like your amoeba. Okay. But amoeba is not the prokaryote. Listen. Then prokaryotes are always unicellular, but in case of eukaryotes, some unicellular organisms are belongs to prokaryote, and also multicellular organisms are also belongs to that eukaryote group. Okay, that means generally they are multicellular, but some unicellular are also eukaryotes. Okay, next, in case of prokaryotes, the membrane bounded cell organelles are absent, but in case of eukaryotes, the membrane bounded organelles are present. Membrane bounded organelles, they are highly advanced. We have already discussed in standard 8. Two types of organelles are there, membraneless and membrane bounded. Membraneless organelles are what? Ribosomes, centrosomes. But in case of membrane bounded organelle, they are what? And ribosome is the smallest organelle. Listen, ribosome is the smallest organelle of the cell, remember. Okay, and in case of animals, in case of plant cell, the largest organelle is the plastid. Okay, and the second largest organelle in plant cell is mitochondria. But in case of animal cell, the largest organelle is the mitochondria. Okay, now come towards the cell division. And cell division occurs in case of prokaryotes in by binary fission, and in case of eukaryotes, cell division by mitosis or meiosis. Fungi, in case of eukaryotes, the fungi, plant and animal cell. You can see the next slide. Wait. Now see. Yes. See that. Yes, say. Kingdom, protista, fungi. You later on you learn that in chapter 7 provide. In chapter 7 you learn that protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. These four group of animals are eukaryotes in nature. And look at here. This is the structure of one prokaryote. Okay. You can take the screenshot for your note purpose. Okay. So that's all about your today's class.